what I'm talking about. Oh my gosh. Normally,
Yeah, that sure does that. You're good.
Oh, have you guys seen that video? That guy, he's on a TV show and it sinks and it just
the
goes up his...
fucking yeah.
That one has the most functions. For like
dude,
lumbar leaning
this is
back
good
and
shit
stuff.
right here.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, to be honest, the first 20 minutes normally just gets edited out because it's rambling. But I mean, we can talk about whatever the fuck we want. What were you talking about?
Shit. So I came up with like, I don't know, like how they put social justice into like sports and stuff, and how it's creeped into the game so much people don't want to watch it anymore.
Oh yeah, like people are like boycotting NFL and shit because of the kneelers and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know people that didn't watch until Christmas, and then I was like, oh, okay. I was like, I just deal with it because we gotta deal with it.
Yeah, it's a good point. I just think it's just like politics. Like it's strewn away from the actual point
Big time.
so much to where we don't even get to enjoy like the goal anymore.
Yeah.
It's so much focused on the side shit that they don't even care about the main goal anyway. But
Yeah, because I find sports is like an escape. I can sit down. I know that you and Jordan were talking about it, that you guys don't watch sports at all, really. And I was like, oh, maybe that's not a great topic for us, but...
No, you're good. No, I still understand, like, the psychology behind it, because, like, that's what I do when I work on my truck,
Yeah.
Like, I'm up at a shop by myself. Like, I don't even play music most of the time. And it's just, like, it's very calming, and it's, like, it's just you versus the problem, not you versus the world versus the problem. So it's, like, you get to just zone the hell out.
Yeah.
Because I know you're a big sports guy, too, so... We're even.
Even Schmeven.
I brought the backup.
Yeah, there we go.
What the hell happened to Colin Kaepernick? Where's he at? Like,
He got exposed as a rich whiny bitch.
Yeah.
pretty much. Just like you said, they get away from the actual point.
It's frustrating.
Too much politics.
Yeah, because it's in the game. It's, they talk about it during the game. Then they cut away from the game, go to commercials, and there it is again. And it's like, okay, it's right to social injustice that needs to happen, but you're pushing it down everyone's throat since, May.
Yeah.
And it's everywhere you look. People are just, they want to escape for a minute. Like, yeah, this is reality and it's tough, but you have to have that escape aspect from it as well.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's everywhere, it's hard to do that.
Yeah, because then it's like, it's irritating, It's like commercial after commercial. It's like every other word out of the announcer's mouth. It's just like, okay, we heard it already. Like, if you ever see the same, like, toothpaste commercial, I'm going to remember to not buy that toothpaste. Like, it's, like, irritating,
Probably.
But it's like, there is a certain turning point, like a diminishing return that it's like, okay, like, we get it.
Yeah.
What are they trying to do with this whole, like, bringing up different, what's that thing they did, different national anthems, doing this and that. It's like...
Yeah, they were going to play the Black National Anthem. I didn't know that there was one until they said they were going to play it.
I didn't know that was
And
it.
then I don't think that they've done it. Because
have
they?
Yeah.
I haven't seen it aired.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, nothing bad. It's just like, we're supposed to be one country unified together. And so are we going to have, the Hispanic national anthem now? The Chinese national anthem? Like, what the hell? Like, that itself is racist by doing it to the country. Like, you're going to have a black national anthem? All right, you're being racist to all the other freaking...
And I think this all kind of, like, segregates everyone because we're taking, the national anthem, which is supposed to unify everyone, and then you put in a black national anthem, we're going back to the 60s and we're segregating everything.
Pretty much, just basically.
But no one wants to talk about that.
No.
And that's what, like, that's why I like science so much, is like a lot of stuff runs on definition.
Yeah.
But no one wants to talk about the definition. Everybody wants to talk about the emotional side. But it's like, if we could all just sit down and understand, like, if we all got on the same page of like what equality is or what like racism is, then we would be discussing things and we'd be putting our efforts in the direction that actually could change something instead of just arguing about what the definition is.
I think
Because 9 times out of 10, that's what you're doing, is you're just
Yeah.
arguing about what your definition through your eyes of what the issue is.
Yeah, definitely. As a nation, I think we've separated ourselves from what equal rights actually are and what people think they're entitled to, which is basically nothing, which literally is nothing. You're not
Yep.
entitled to anything. But
Yeah.
they forget the whole, you need to work for this, and then you get to be Steve Jobs or the CEO of this or the CEO of that. You're not just like, oh, boom, baby, here you go be
Yeah.
the next leader of Apple.
I saw a comedian talk about that the other day. He's all everyone is like liberal until your 30s. And then you open up that muffin stand and you're like, man, these taxes are not as good as I thought they would be.
Yeah.
And as in my 20s not working and I wanted like some government money. Like,
There you go.
I was like, dude, this guy nails it. Because I should find his name because he talks about a lot of like questionable shit and he does it through humor. So like people don't get mad. But it's just like, everyone's liberal until their 30s. And then they're like,
It's pretty wild to see the different when you're like in college, seeing like a lot of liberals, and then they graduate just to slowly start to grow. And once you get into corporate America is just gonna keep you down there. It's gonna keep stomping on you, and you're just like, help me.
And we had a guy, he was a Democrat his entire life, even through AGR and all that. And then he went and got his first job out of college, and he opened up that paycheck and saw all the taxes, and he was like, oh crap. He's like, yeah, no, I'm a Republican.
Yep. It's
that's how it be.
a big difference.
I get irritated though, because like that people just automatically write you off, like if you tell them who you voted for, because it's like I saw this one thing. This girl tweeted, and she's like, oh, those like the dudes won't tell you, or the guys that say that they like won't straight up tell you who they voted for. They're just being quiet because they know they won't get laid if they say who they voted for. It's like, or I'm just not radical
Yeah.
with it, and they're not radical because it's like I'm not gonna go spray paint Biden signs and like do that stupid crap because that pissed me off. I saw a bunch of Trump signs getting spray painted and stomped on and thrown around, and then I was like, oh, these dang Democrats, you know, they're just horrible people. And then I saw a bunch of Biden signs that got the same thing done to them. I was like, where's the line? You know, like what separates us from them? And there is no line.
There's stupid people everywhere. That's
Yeah.
basically it. There's gonna be racist people everywhere. You can't control 300 and some million people in this country now?
Yeah,
330 million?
Yeah. You
Yeah.
can't control every single one of them and put an agenda to them. You have to do this, you have to do this, you have to be kind of that person. You can't. You just basically can't. There's so many religions, there's so many rules that people follow. You can't.
But that's kind of like my tweet the other day. That's kind of the beauty of it. Is like if you just leave people alone, they're gonna focus on bettering themselves
Yeah.
instead of like thinking that their throat is under the government's foot, and then they're gonna, instead of stealing, they're gonna be like, you know what, I could grow a business in this economy. I could own a house. I could start a family. It's like they say a man's earning potential is like 10 times more when he's like married with a family because he's driven.
Mm-hmm. He's got something to work
And he's
for.
like, I have stuff to lose, you know. But if you're just like living in an apartment by yourself until you're 50, you might become a bank robber, I guess is what that's saying. But
Dude, that's crazy. I saw this one posted today. It's like, I don't want a $600 check. I don't want a $2,000 check. I want stuff to open back up. I want jobs to start going again. I want people to get jobs.
Yeah, that's been my entire thought about this is, you know, this is just putting us more and more into debt as a government. I mean, we're already, like 20-something trillion dollars. And then what they don't even tell us, because that you can go online and go that debt counter and everything, and it's just keep moving and moving and moving.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just what they tell us. It's not everything that we've accrued over time.
yeah,
And having these stimulus checks,
doesn't help.
it doesn't help.
Yeah.
It might help someone in the short run. $600 pays what someone's rent, thankfully, maybe if they're lucky.
Depends.
But,
what you
like,
pay.
Yeah.
You know what would pay their rent and their utilities and getting food on the table is opening up the government, opening up everything, opening up the economy.
If there was like, if this whole virus thing was like a 30% death rate, yeah, I'd be a little bit more, motivated to go get the vaccine, wear my mask. It's like I social distance from people. Like when, like I'm at Walmart, like I'm not, if I turn down an aisle and there's like a whole bunch of people there, like I go around, like I'm not trying to go through crowds. It's
I was doing that before the pandemic.
Yeah, exactly. But it's like, it just irritates, like, and then you get called out. You're like, oh, you don't care about other people. It's like, that's not true at all. It's like, but what irritates me is like back to the stimulus thing. It's like people are like, yeah, the nation needs this stimulus check. It's like, you're right. They do need aid, but what they don't need is for their money to mean less. Because I keep saying, I'm like I tell my family, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go make my millions. Like I'm gonna grind until I'm like I want to retire at 45 with like to be comfortable and like I don't have to work a 9 to 5 and like I want to make $1 million. But the sad part is I'll probably make $1 million and I'll probably be middle class. By the time we get done with all this government spending, inflation's already 600%.
It's crazy.
Since what I think is funny, and like I've seen a lot of people bring it up, is like Pelosi and Biden are like, oh, $600, like that'll get you a long way. Yeah, in the 40s, like they were born in like 41, 42, whatever. It's like
what, 80?
Yeah, and then you hear people like older people complain. They're like, oh, I did this job for $2 an hour. And then you look up the inflation, and they were making like $18 an hour, like now, and you're like, this is stupid.
It's crazy. That's what people want now. Like, oh, we want a raise. We'll get a different job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. They
Learn
don't.
a
They want to. They want more money for the same amount of work. It's like
It's not how it works.
let high schoolers and people who are in between jobs flip burgers. Like go start a career. Like unless you're like managing the Wendy's or like you own the Wendy's, like let the high turnover individuals work there because they're like in between lifestyles or something.
Mm-hmm.
There's enough people that are on their way up that can work those jobs for a couple months at a time, and people are like, oh, McDonald's has the highest turnover rate, and it's like, good. You don't want people working in McDonald's from 18 to 65. That'd be kind of weird.
And the sad thing is that you do see 60-year-olds working there, but most of the time it's people from other countries.
Yeah. I like going to parts stores and seeing like an old guy there, and I'm like, you kind of hear his story, and he's like, yeah, retired from the military, and I just got this job because I was bored. He's like, I don't need the money. He's like, I got a nice ass house. He's like, my wife was just driving me nuts, so here I am.
Gotta get out of
Like,
here.
I like you.
Now let me get all these parts.
Exactly.
Let me tell you about the stimulus stuff I'm about to spend here.
Exactly. Half guns, half truck parts.
There we go.
Tis the plan.
Yeah, that's going to ammo.
Yeah.
If we can get it.
Exactly. I had some family come over the other day, and they're like, yeah, let's go shooting. I was like, you buying ammo? I ain't buying ammo. Shit's expensive.
Dang. So is there just a shortage right now? I haven't kept up with it. Or
Well, I mean, it's between people buying a shitload of it, and the government only allows manufacturers to make a certain amount per year.
okay.
And the reason, and with all this scare, people are overbuying,
Yeah.
and they can't make any more until January 1st. So, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I just want to make sure I was right on that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're right
So-
on that.
Which, I mean, okay. It kind of makes sense. But also, you're regulating markets where you shouldn't really be regulating markets, you know? But, I don't know.
I think that's where this pandemic has showed us a lot, at least to me, is that the government controls a lot of things, and then them putting in these orders, these stay-at-home orders and shutting down businesses, and then, we have to be grateful for a stimulus check because the government is controlling our income at that point, and they're controlling how we live our lives, even though we're supposed to be a free nation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it's opened up my eyes a lot. Like, I pay attention to the stock market now. I pay attention to everything. But it's just like, right when you think like, oh, like the media's been a little bit quiet about certain things, or like, maybe we're like on the up and up. I was watching the news the other day, and they're like, a man from Colorado who stayed in his house this entire time has a new strain of COVID. And it's like, first off, there's a whole bunch of shit going on, like with fear mongering that you're trying to do. Second off, there's no damn way that he stayed in his house the whole time. But it's like they keep saying that's how they're getting around the whole like, oh, once you get the vaccine, you're not safe. They're like, oh, there's so many strands, which there probably is. I don't know. I'm not a virologist. I have no idea. But it's like, I don't know, man. It's so irritating. It's like every single thing that like could possibly be a catch-22. They're like, oh, but like, you can have it without the symptoms.
Yeah, they said that new strand started in the UK and then made its way all the way to the US to some dude in Colorado that hasn't left his house.
Yeah.
That just didn't connect to me either.
Yeah.
It's like, Tinder dates gone wild.
Probably. At what point does it stop though? Like, I know we were kids back then, but at what point was it influenza or?
There's been Zika, influenza, Ebola. Like,
at what point is that like? All right, you know what? We're getting better. It's been what, almost a year? Almost gonna be a year now.
Yeah.
At what point does this nation like? All right,
dude, I remember
go back.
Ebola had like a. Let's look it up. I'm not just gonna ballpark it, but I think Ebola had like at least a whole number death rate.
It knocked some people out.
Ebola death percentage. No internet. Dope. Do it on my phone.
I guess I could have hooked you up with that before.
I don't need it. Ebola death rate. Jesus Christ. 90% fatality rate. We didn't even wear masks.
No, and then didn't that start somewhere totally different in the
With
world?
Africa.
Yeah, and then they said, oh, let's bring him to Dallas. To a hospital in Dallas.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, what are we doing? Why can't we just treat him over there? Why are you bringing it here?
And then the big thing was, like, the reason it was so, like, it spread so fast over there is because, like, their culture's different to where, like, when you bury them, there's, like, a lot of, like, touching and, like, preparing the body and stuff, like, without, like, there's no morgues. Yeah. Like, you wrap them in, like, ceremonial stuff, and then you, like, give them, like, a burial or whatever. And it's, like, there's a lot of touching. It's, like, I remember I was in an anthropology class, and that was, like, huge. Like, they had to, like, let people, like, you didn't get to go to the afterlife unless you were, like, prepared this way. And I was like, that's kind of silly. But I'm like, there's so many things like that for us that, like, you don't even question it. It's just part of your faith. Mm-hmm. And I was like, if that's what you believe and you were born that way and, like, that's what works, like, you'd be freaking out if, like, Grandpa kicked it and you're just like, holy crap, he's not going to get to go to the afterlife because these freaking random people in these, like, suits with gloves or, like, sticking them with needles and stuff. You're probably freaking out.
Yeah.
There was rioting and stuff there. They were, like, jumping over the fences to go talk to him. And it was just like, that had to be stressful. Because you went from, like, picking berries and carrying water to, like, random white people setting up tents. And, oof, that'd be culture shock for sure. But I just think it's, I don't know. I don't know why. And, like, I heard the only difference between, like, the flu and this virus is, like, the micro-clotting or whatever. And it's like, and then there's also these other strands that do other shit. But it's just like, it's weird who it targets. It just sounds like a little, like they planned it. They're like, oh, we need to get these underlying health conditions so that way we can boost our stats.
Who knows? There's so many theories out there.
And it just sounds so wild to me because they're like, oh, this person was reckless and this happened to my family member and they died because of it. It's like, okay, well, like, was your family member like a 30-year-old male that, like, ran every day and juiced and, like, did yoga? Like, no. He, like, your grandpa died because he smoked 3 packs a day since the 30s or since the 50s, and he drank 9 Coors Lights a day and sat on the couch. That's why he has diabetes and that's why he died. But we were like, recklessness of the coronavirus is what got him. And it's like, No. What got him was he didn't give a shit about his health, and then he got this disease.
Night night, Grandpa.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, it's hard to accept. I mean, it is a little touchy subject for me, but like, my grandma recently passed away. She had, like, cancer, and she smoked cigarettes and stuff. Never had the coronavirus. Never. I was just like, that blew my mind. And she would go out and get her hair done when she was, like, still moving around. Like, no mask. She just didn't care. Never got the coronavirus. And that's why it's, like, hard for me to accept, because it's like,
What happened?
like, she was, like, top 1% for people to get it.
Yeah.
Never touched her. I think it's because she was German. She was strong. She just, you better get away from me, Rona. Those Germans are persistent beggars.
Oh no. Oh gosh.
You don't mess with Alma. Let me tell you.
Oh man. She's got him.
Corona's weird because, like, I had it back in September, but I was asymptomatic. Yeah, I know. Back away now. And so I went to a buddy's house and we had a dinner. There's like 10 of us there. And one guy, he got exposed by his roommates and he didn't know until after the dinner, like the next day. And then, so we all quarantined for the weekend and then Wynn got tested on Monday. But me and the guy that originally got exposed were the only ones to test positive, but we were both asymptomatic. And then I was like, well, what am I supposed to do? Because I'm asymptomatic. And then the U of A, since it was through them, you're not allowed to test for 3 months because you still test positive for corona without having corona. I was like, how does this make sense
What?
to anybody?
That's how the stats are crazy. They're like, oh, we've gone up 900%. And it's like, we don't even have that many people. Like,
Of course, they're gonna go up. People are getting tested more. I get tested weekly for work, like, and you just scoot over here to the guy who had it in November. So it's like I had it on a Monday. Well, not day, I had a headache on Monday. I was like, I don't feel good. Next day, I was like, I do not feel good. Called my boss. I was like, hey man, don't feel good. I'm gonna go get tested. Just curious. Came back positive. I was like, all right. Got tested next Monday. Came back negative. I was like, that's quick. 3-4 days of just headaches and body aches and little nosy mocos coming everywhere, and that's it.
not as fast as Trump, though.
Yeah.
His body got rid of it faster than anybody else.
He
Oh,
was,
yeah.
I freaking
Yeah.
hope so, dude. You're like,
what was it? I don't know. It was a joke.
if anybody else should have the best health care in the world, I would hope it's you.
Steroids.
Yeah, seriously.
He don't got DNA. He's got USA in his blood. Did he actually tweet that, or was that a joke?
I don't know. I hope he did.
Gosh. Oh yeah.
Twitter's whack.
I hate it, but I love it at the same time.
I never find like the cool things on my feed. I find them on like screenshots on Instagram or
Yeah.
like on iFunny. It's never like scrolling. It's like, huh, nice. It's like, you never see that shit.
Just
That's why it's irritating to me, because it's like, I just like to tweet and then I don't even scroll through it.
Exactly. See what happens. Dude.
Liked by Eli Ramirez.
All the time. Let's go. It's not even on notifications. Every time I hop on, it's just like, Miles Choke. There we go. Send it. I don't even read them sometimes. It's like, send, like.
That Eli, he's a bitch. Like, retweet.
Oh, gosh. What was it? I don't even want to read that up, but he had that war with that one person. Not war.
Oh, there's a
Twitter
little, I had a
battle.
little Twitter kerfuffle. It was about Rana.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she was talking about how like you shouldn't go to church and like do all these mass gatherings, and I was like, the way it makes sense to me is like, a while ago they tried to make the speed limit 55 miles an hour, and then everybody was like, yeah, it's safer, and like if you get in a wreck, you're like just gonna be injured, not die, but like, it takes so long to get places, and so they were like, okay, well, we can bring it back up, but then you're gonna have to accept these stats, and everyone was like, yeah. Like, we don't care. Like, we just want to get to places. Especially in Arizona, everybody drives like 90 miles an hour down the damn freeway. And it's like, I mean, other places are like that too. But it's just like, you have to, and it's just like freedom versus security. Like, you have to give up, or like, you have to accept a certain amount of risk for convenience. And it's like, I tried to explain it, but like, obviously they weren't picking it up. And it gets irritating to me because I actually invited her to be on the podcast because I'd rather talk it out with her in person because you can like relay information so much better.
That's your first million view podcast right there.
Probably. I'm like, here's our Twitter battle that we had. Now we're gonna talk about it. And
Gosh.
But anyway, it's just like I was saying some stuff on Twitter, and I was like, I really hope they don't take this the wrong way. Like, I'm not mad at them. Like, I'm not yelling at them. Like, I'm just trying to like make sure they see both sides, you know?
Yeah.
And then she told me she was personally affected by it, and I'm like, I don't really want to respond now because then anything I say is just going to be taken like way more negative. Like, it's against her family member that was affected. So I was like, I'm just going to leave it. But like, all I was trying to do was show that, like, and then she like was telling me that I didn't see the big picture, and I'm like, you're only looking at it through a personal viewpoint, and you're not looking at it through like, there are people in this world that believe that going to church is more important, and like having their walk with God and like doing those things with the church is more important than like going to work. And who are you to tell them differently? And like one part of my tweets was like, that's the beauty of this country. Like, you can kind of just do it. You're supposed to be able to do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like everybody's like, oh no, we have to do exactly what the government says because they've never failed us before. They used to the government. What was it? The Tuskegee experiment. They tested long-term effects of syphilis on African Americans by telling them that they were getting free healthcare from the government, and they gave them syphilis, and then watched what it did. And all these poor African American males were like, free healthcare, hell yeah, and they got freaking syphilis for free. Not even like the cool way. Like, if you're gonna get syphilis, you might as well like, hookers in Vegas or something, But man, probably like a Q-tip and some white dude with gloves. Poor souls. This is your vitamins. Why do I have my pants off?
What? Oh god.
Let's change tracks before we get a little too deep into that one.
Yeah. Let's go back to the stimmies. Yeah, we're getting $600. Why are these other countries getting millions?
Oh, dude, 10 million going to Pakistan for gender programs. I say
For what?
for gender programs in Pakistan. I say, honestly, it's pretty clear whether or not it's how you dress in Pakistan, so I don't see the issue there. Just kidding. That was a little bit. I'll probably edit that part out. Anyway, I say we take all the gender studies majors and send them a broad study over there.
Study.
We just cut it at about 10%. All you need is about 1 million. And you take 100 gender studies majors from each top university, send them over there. Problem solved.
Yeah, I think I saw a tweet like that.
Yeah. That was not an original thought. I just think that'd be hilarious. Because then it's like, I don't think gender studies majors do gender studies jobs. So.
They probably want to go travel the world anyways. So
Yeah, that'd be fun.
I mean,
Pakistan. That's gotta be cool. I don't really know anything in Pakistan, but.
I thought stuff was bad over there. I don't know.
Well, I mean, I think they get a bad rap, but there's plenty of
Good stuff over
like
there.
cool shit over there, I would assume.
Culture's
Culture's gotta be cool. Probably good food. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's not very many brochures for Pakistan.
Nah, I've never seen one.
No, but one of my previous podcasts, we actually did some of the math. It was like, so 330 million times like 600 is like 19 billion, right? So where's the other 800 or 100 billion? So there's $800 billion just going random.
yeah.
But I think what's going on, and so I can't remember what the term is, but in like the legislature and stuff, there's a ton of like laws that you don't really focus on big shit. And I think with like a lot of the crap going on, they couldn't really get a lot of those, like, because lobbyists are just nuts. And so, like, I mean, like nuts, like in a plethora of them. So I think this was their like ticket that they're like, okay, this is for sure going to get passed because everybody wants to look good to the government, right, or to the population right now because they want to get votes. And so it's like, this is for sure going to pass. Let's just stack a bunch of shit on here. Because I think about half of it's going to like military shit, like ships and missiles and which, and I told Jordan about this. I was like, we don't need that. And he's all, I honestly think we do because then we can go kick some ass. I was like, Jordan, if we cut our military in half, we are still the largest military. By far. Like, I don't understand all that extra crap we needed. And it's like, it's that kid in middle school that's like, just print more money.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, ask Argentina how that went.
No.
I think that's like one of the countries that has like $1 million bills, and it's worth like $80 in American money.
Really?
I think so. They're like Zimbabwe. They did that too.
Yeah, Zimbabwe was really bad. They had
like,
barrels full of $1 million bills, and it was worth nothing.
Yeah, like pennies on the dollar. It's like, but I think Argentina, they did that too because they definitely fell away from the gold standard very quickly. But then it's the whole dictatorship thing. But I just think it's crazy how everybody thinks that if you just tweak socialism or you tweak Marxism, it works. Like, it'll work this time, you know? And then, like, every other country who's done it is like, please don't do it. Like, it's a cookie-cutter style of leadership, and no matter how you try to skin the cat, it's gonna go the same way. And everybody's like, oh, but it's gonna be different this time. And it's like, no, it never is. It's gonna be the exact same thing. It's the 1% of people thinking that these people running the country don't even go grocery shopping. Like, they have no idea what it's like to go down the aisle and get bread. I think they
have to.
I think they asked Bill Gates how much he thought bread cost, and he said like $30 or like $1. He said something outlandish. I don't really know which way it went, but he's just like, they don't know how much shit costs.
No.
And it's like, and we want you to figure out like what like we need to live. It's like, when are we gonna start voting for policies and not like your favorite character, you know?
Yeah.
It drives me insane.
I was with my family recently, and of course they're Hispanic. It's not surprising, but it's also weird how liberal Mexican news are.
Like news stations?
Yes, like that's what my mom like sees, and like she's just listening to everything, and they're maybe a little bit worse than CNN. Like, it was so bad, and I was like, what? Like, they were, like, talking about the stimulus bill, and then they were just, like just hashing down on how President Trump never did anything for this country, and how he's so bad, and how that administration was there for 4 years, and never did anything for the American people. And I just started laughing, and my mom was like, Mijo, what's going on? I was like, Mom, you need to stop listening to this stuff. Like, it's bad. That's so bad. She's like, well, why? And I just started like explaining different things and like why things weren't getting passed, and like she's like, oh shit.
So this is like not like channels that are just in Spanish, like American news for Hispanics, or
it's like the Mexican news station, but they have like a segment. They're in like El Paso.
Oh. So it's just like a kind of both thing.
Yeah. It's
like they report
both.
like Mexican, like
they're
Mexico
in
news and USA news. Okay.
Pretty much.
I was gonna say, I was like, so why is like Mexico news talking about like USA stuff? Because you don't ever. That was kind of a weird thought. Like, do you think other news stations in the world are just having an absolute blast talking about us? Like, these people are absolute nutcases. Like, oh yeah, and there's like a fire down the street, but Americans are absolutely crazy.
Like, here, Timmy, out in Italy, let's go see if the Americans got their stimulus check today.
Well, yeah, it was like Italy and France were some of the places that were making fun of us over summer because they had complete shutdown in the very beginning, and they were laughing at Trump and laughing at America and all this, and then they had a month of no shutdowns, and then another surge of cases for Corona, and it was like, yeah, we're still going, and you're shut down for a second or a third time.
Yeah. I wonder how's that's gone for their economy.
I don't think their economy was anything superfluous before, but
More just travel. And what is it? Money laundering? Not money laundering. Overseas
mattress
accounts.
firm. Oh, offshore accounts.
It's like, old Jordan Belfort.
It's my hero.
Gosh. I keep seeing, since I'm in Dallas, I guess he's doing something over
Yeah,
there.
he's out. Like,
Yeah, he's out. Like,
Yeah.
And he's just doing his thing, training sales reps, and then he's always coming out like...
he
commercials
understands
on the phone.
people, like,
He does.
absolutely, like an animal. But, because I've listened to a couple of his little excerpts.
Yeah.
But I take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah. I mean, I see the part where he's did all the drugs and everything, because I see that in my industry now. It's just like, all right, if you're going to be running that kind of money, you need to be on edge somehow. Unless you're naturally high all the time, then you definitely need a little juice
Yeah.
of some sorts. I wouldn't say all of his juices, but something. A bang.
Yeah. Caffeine. Pre-workout. Something legal.
Yeah. It's crazy.
I definitely talked to a couple different people about managing accounts with a lot of zeros and commas, and it's stressful. I have no idea because my bank account doesn't even have a comma in it.
It is a lot of moving parts and a lot of people to deal with. If you can deal with that, I mean, you're solid. You learn a lot. A lot.
I'm glad that I'm getting better at editing.
Good.
There's just what's bad though is I'll zone out and I'll be like, yeah, I'm gonna edit this part that we just said this way, and then I'm gonna do this, and then I'll yawn. I'm like, I'm gonna edit that out, and
Oh, no.
but I'll be editing, and I'll yawn on camera, and then I'll yawn while I'm fucking editing. And I'm like, gosh dang it. Or I'll look at the camera to make sure that the light is blinking, and then I'll just awkwardly lock eyes with myself while editing, and I'm like, this is fucking weird.
Oh, no. Dude.
So if there's anything you ever need edited out, you let me know. Because we've talked about some shit before, and then we'll be like, wait, are we allowed to say that?
How deep are you trying to get into this?
Well, we'll say shit that's kind of incriminating.
Mm.
And then we're like, probably take that out.
Yeah. I think we're good for now. So far, so good.
I like to do hour-long episodes. My average watch time's 10 minutes, but I think that's because some people watch the whole thing, some people watch a couple minutes of it, and they're like, yeah, this is kind of fucking boring. But podcasts are hit or miss for me, even. I'll just start listening away. I'm like, I don't like the way this guy says the letter P. I'll just stop fucking listening to it.
Even for Joe Rogan podcast, sometimes I can't watch the whole thing.
No, it's it just kind of drags on, and
Yeah.
you're like, fuck, man.
The Kanye West one, I don't know if you watched him and Kanye West.
Yo,
I've seen excerpts of it.
And I sat there and watched the first hour and a half of it, and I was like,
It's fucking long.
yeah, and I was like, I can't do this. I can't do this anymore. Kanye is so far over here in his own world. I mean, he's been in his
He's
own
like
world.
God.
Yeah, literally thinks he is like a god, and then it's all of his ideas, and then the way that he wraps around his ideas to counteract everything that he just said with one sentence, and then it's dude, I just can't listen to you. Something's
Apparently
messed
he's
up.
found Jesus.
Oh,
Him
yeah,
and Justin Bieber.
yeah, plenty of times. Yeah, out in what Wyoming or Montana or whatever. Yeah,
Oh, they'll go and
he went
do
out.
shrooms or something.
He went out to the forest, out to the middle of nowhere in Wyoming or Montana, and was just there for a week. And people checked in on him. It was as if he was in his own little mental institute in this cabin. It's is he okay? Is he gonna be all right? Like, who knows? He probably did a bunch of shrooms and was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go back on Joe Rogan. You know what? I would tell him what I think. You know.
Then you buy a ranch out there. I think he bought a ranch.
Kanye?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
I don't know what he's doing with it. He bought a. Let me
feel
reword
bad
that.
for
He
that
bought a
ranch
big
manager.
piece of land out there.
Kane Brown got lost on his own fucking property.
I saw
Yeah,
that.
20 acres.
20 acres?
20 acres out in Tennessee, and this dude got lost and had to call the cops because he was lost. I was saying, I live on 20 acres and I
Even if
cannot
it
get
was-
lost anywhere.
Okay, in Tennessee, there's a lot of big trees. I get it.
Yeah, but
But walk till you hit a fucking fence, and then just follow the fence. And then you'll figure it out.
Hey, when you got money, I guess.
You can be stupid, I
Call in a
suppose.
helo and.
if you can't figure out, like, you know, oh, that's north, that's south, okay, I need to go that way because I came from that way. He was probably only out there for like an hour, hour and a half, too.
Or just think, I've been facing this way this whole time I've been walking. Maybe I should try facing this way. And then I might get home. Like,
That was pretty funny.
that's embarrassing, man. I like how it was, like, reported. Like, the police were like, this goob. This needs to go on the news.
Oh. Tennessee. Dude.
But they will say, like, land nav, I learned, like, in the Marines, like, land nav in the woods is kind of fucking hard. Because, like, you're supposed to, like, count paces and, like, like, you're just staring at your fucking compass and, like, you're counting paces because you have your map and you're, like, trying not to get lost. But, like, I went to boot camp San Diego, so, like, when we did all our land nav in Pendleton, it was all terrain association, which I've been doing since I could fucking walk. And so, like, I knew how to do that super well. Like, I didn't even use my compass.
Yeah.
And then I, like, then I got to combat training and started talking to a lot of the East Coast guys, and they're like, land nav was fucking hard. Because they're like, because they teach you, you're supposed to walk this way, and then if you run into an obstacle, you have to, like, take this many paces this way, this way, this way, and then you, like, count your steps, whatever. And it's like, it's really easy to get lost. And I was like, I get it, but there's still easier ways to do fucking land nav, like, but I've only been walking around big ass trees that's flat, like maybe once. Because even in like northern Arizona where there's pine trees, like you can still kind of figure out where the fuck you are pretty easily.
Yeah.
So I just think these guys, most of these guys I talk to probably went outside maybe once or twice in their life.
It gets pretty scary when it gets dark.
That's something we could talk about for a while, like getting accustomed to darkness. Like, because I used to be hella scared of the dark. And now I'll just fucking turn the lights off and just walk through the dark by myself. And it's just like, if something, big enough to just, yeet me, I'm not going to be able to stop him. Like, if there's like a bear, I'm not going to be able to turn around. Like, in my head, I'm going to like punch the bear. No, I'm not going to fucking punch a bear. It's a bear. Like, I'm not Captain America. Might be like Captain Dad Bod, but like, no, I'm not gonna knock a bear out. I'm gonna punch it. It's gonna make it more mad, and it's gonna eat my face.
Yeah.
It's like, and then like once I realized that, I'm like, okay, if there is a 10-foot demon on the top of the roof, what am I gonna do? Just walk inside. Just ignorance is bliss at that point. It's like, just be like, there probably is a 10-foot demon up there. So it. Need a beer? Like, I don't know. Like, nothing you can do. Just accept it. Like, being all scared and, like, twitchy isn't going to fucking help. Yeah. Like, or if someone with a gun is behind me, like, I don't have a gun. As fast as I think I am, probably going to get got. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
And then after I accepted that, I'll walk through the dark. I don't give a shit.
We were out turkey hunting one time in Ruidoso. We were with the HR guys. And it got dark on us, and we were walking back. Like, we were on a trail. Like, this trail led straight to the pickup where we were going to stay for the night. And he's like 6 inches, not 6, he's about 6 inches shorter than me. He's just walking. And next thing you know, he's like, he's got to get to this step. And I'm like, oh my God, this guy is walking a little faster, Next thing you know, I find myself jogging, and the boy's running. And I'm like, what is going on here? get back to the truck. I'm like, man, were you scared or something? He's like, yeah, I hate the dark. I was like, we literally have guns. We have guns and we're good. He's like, yeah, I just don't like the dark. I was like, what the heck? It was a California kid.
Dalen?
I was like, dude, that was pretty fun.
But like once you accept it, it's like it's kind of peaceful. Like
Yeah.
it's weird, you know. Like you just like walk into the dark and you're like, I could die. Nice. And you just like, it just, I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain. But I think it's quite peaceful. In like the creepiest way possible, I guess.
I think like getting scared is kind of fun. Have you ever been like, boo, and you're just like, motherfucker, don't do that.
Yeah, that adrenaline jump. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
that's something for about 10 minutes, and after you're like, crap.
Yeah.
Like, you're coming down, and you're like, well, this sucks.
Exactly.
It's like, oh man, I know you. I can't beat you up.
So, like, I used to get mad at myself because, like, you'd like see videos and stuff where like you scare somebody and their first reaction is you just swing, and it's like I've been scared to that point before, but like I recognize who it is or like I recognize the situation fast enough to the point where my initial reaction is to just knock them out. So it's like I used to get mad at myself. I'm like, man, I got crappy reflexes, and I was like, or like crappy instincts, and I'm like, honestly, no, I have the complete opposite. Like I can. Like, I'm quick enough to understand the situation to know that I don't have to, like, result in force.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, but it's way funnier if you just, like, knock some dude out. And he's like, boom! Like, have you seen the video? Like, this was, like, when the internet wasn't so soft. But it was, like, don't scare black people. And it was, like, some dude sitting on the porch with, like, a jack-o'-lantern, like, scarecrow thing. And he goes, boo! And, like, first off, this dude was, like, probably, like, 6 foot, 300 pounds of pure, absolute muscle. Out of all the people that are not scared, top of the list, that guy.
That guy.
He goes, boo. Punches him, like this is an actual jack-o'-lantern on his head. Punches him through the fucking jack-o'-lantern and knocks him out. I was like, scare a skinny dude. Like, it just absolutely, like, just rocks this dude. And then there's this other guy, and he was like he wouldn't have been able to see him, but this dude was in a trash can, like, on the side of the road, and it was also Halloween. And, like, he probably was, like, another, like, 6'1", 6'2", like pretty cut, like, black dude. And this, like, goofy-ass white dude pops out of the trash can and goes, boo. Fucking rocks him, and what's funny is, like, the lid didn't open all the way, so he falls back in and the lid closes. I was like, y'all keep scaring, like, Jackie Chan, like, fucking Mike Tyson guys out here, like, scares scrawny short dudes or something, like, Jesus Christ.
What do you think is gonna happen at that point?
I'm gonna scare this mountain of a man. Like those TikToks where he's all like, is like, I don't understand why you guys are scared of black people. And it's like this 400 pound, 6'5", so I don't care if you are purple, brown, orange, white, whatever. I'm scared of you regardless. And then like
dude does dancing.
yeah. And then there's like, and then what I thought was funny was like this other black dude like duetted it, and he's all, I'm scared of that motherfucker. Like, I don't know why you guys got to make it like a black thing. He's just a big ass dude.
Oh, yeah. I've seen that.
This dude's biceps was like the size of my head. It's like, hell no.
He was a big guy.
Squeeze my damn head like a grape. Fuck no.
Dude.
Yeah, you would have broken an egg. You see those guys that try to do it?
I always thought I could do it, but I don't want to disappoint myself, so just avoid that challenge.
Yeah, I see people on TikTok do it all the time. I'm like, it can't really be that bad. I'm like, but I don't want to do it to myself either.
I was like where I'm at, I'm comfortable, you know? Like, I don't want to be like, oh, I'm big and strong and just like can't fucking break. Because you can't even like squeeze an egg either. Because like, did you know that?
No.
There's a whole bunch of science behind it, but I'll, spare the details. It's like, it just distributes the force well enough to where like you can't crush an egg with your palms. Or no. Is it your palm? Or no, you can't squeeze an egg. Like, you can't break one in one hand.
No.
Do you have eggs here?
Yeah, we do actually. We have some old ones that we need to use. So yeah.
We should do it.
All right.
We can edit it out. Can you go grab an egg?
Yeah.
I need to Google how it is so that way we don't like do it fucking all over the floor.
We did the floating egg trick with them earlier to see if they were good.
Oh,
or
to
not.
see if they were good?
Yeah.
I think it's just like, I'll put this down. Okay. Is this rotten? What the fuck?
I think it's the way that the egg.
I think you have to point it a different way.
Yeah, because did you have it like horizontal in your palm? Because I think it has to be vertical.
Can we get another egg? That was so easy. Oh my goodness. Now I got egg everywhere. I hope this goes viral.
Oh god.
Holy fuck, that was so... I didn't even fucking hesitate. Do you have a trash can?
Yeah, it's another. Yeah.
Thanks. Okay. Let's Google specifically how you're supposed to fucking do this.
Dude, I think it's supposed to be like vertical in your hand.
I would like to specifically know. Because now there's egg everywhere. And my hand is fucking sticky.
It's okay, we get egged like once a semester anyway, so
Nice.
we're kind of used to it.
Impossible egg crush. Now you're just getting it. Safety glasses. Adult supervision. It says horizontal. So apparently, I'm really fucking strong. Oh wait, no. I don't get it. Oh, he uses fingertips. I don't get it. Is that the end of the fucking video? That's fucking horrible.
Well.
Close your hand so that your fingers are completely wrapped around the egg. Holding the egg over a single bowl, squeeze the egg by applying pressure on the shell to everyone's amazement. Mostly your own, your egg will not break. So you have to... I don't get it. Why can't... I think it's this way. I think you're right. It's like it distributes the force. Like, ooh, fucking, as we drop it. I would like to know why I just fucking bazookaed an egg around with this whole fucking table. Maybe that was just a bad egg.
One way to find out.
It says... Challenge someone break an egg in the palm of their hand. Bet them that they can't do it by squeezing the egg with their palm and fingers. Place the egg in their hand. Have them slowly curl their finger around the egg and start squeezing. See, it's just gonna fucking blow up again. Okay, maybe this is how... Maybe that egg was like kind of big.
Maybe.
I
don't.
I'm scared to go full send, but I feel like I'm gonna do it again. Oh no!
Oh man! It went flying.
It's all over the place. What the fuck, science?
Oh shit!
Science meet.
Man, I just watched these kids today, man.
Dude, I just got... I just got this jacket from Eli.
Bro.
Oh shit!
Oh my goodness.
Oh my
I
god.
was like, who is doing it? Fucking jizz rocket over the whole fucking...
Oh shit!
What the fuck? I don't think I'm that strong.
What you been doing with your right hand, buddy?
How about you mind your own fucking business? Okay, don't get into electronics. Okay. Show the camera how you're doing it. Because apparently it doesn't fucking matter. and then put the fucking paper towel. How are you going to do it?
I guess small side up. Like
Okay.
that. And then
You just going to rip it and rip it?
Small side down,
I don't know.
small side up.
I'm going small side up.
You go small side down. Alright. No. Get
Yeah.
safety blanket that shit.
Maybe you really do need safety glasses.
All right.
Alright.
Ready?
Full fucking send.
It's not.
Eli popped already. You know, it's
It
kinda,
feels like hard as a rock.
okay,
Let's see if we
flip it over. So you're doing small side down now.
maybe I'm just weak.
Come on, buddy. Maybe you just got the one like decent fucking egg.
Maybe they're all supposed to be bad. So we did that floating test.
Oh, they're bad.
Yeah.
You didn't. You mentioned the floating test, but I don't think I heard you say they were all bad.
Yeah, we ate the good ones before you got here.
Oh. So you have to use good eggs, apparently.
Maybe this one, the floating test. Here, see if you can do it.
Okay.
If you can do it, shit, MSU guys are just built different.
Let us down.
Yeah, you went to MSU.
That's a good point. It's okay. So you did small side down or up?
Both.
Yeah, I ended up doing both.
Grab the camera and show the wall. Holy shit.
Oh,
Holy fuck. It went so far. It's so gross. Alex, what the fuck?
I don't know, man. No. Oh, no.
I'm pretty sure egg stains too, so we should probably. Holy shit. A roll of paper towels later and fucking 6 eggs.